All right, if you're in a leadership role, you know the feeling, right? You craft this brilliant strategy. It's perfect on paper, but then it just sort of fizzles out. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into how you can bridge that frustrating gap and make sure your great plans actually turn into great results.
So let's just jump right into the big question. It's the one that probably keeps a lot of us up at night. You put all this effort into building the perfect strategy. The team's all fired up. And then a few months later, that momentum is just gone. So what is going on here?
Well, here's the thing that's so interesting. Most of the time, the strategy itself isn't the problem. The real breakdown happens in the execution. There's this huge invisible gap between the ideas you come up with in the boardroom and what your people are actually doing on the front lines every single day.
And that right there, that's the execution gap. For any leadership team, the absolute first step is to really understand this gap, because it is, without a doubt, the biggest hurdle standing between you and your organization's true potential.
You know, this isn't just a hunch. The data really backs this up. A big survey found that almost half, nearly half, of all organizations have no formal system for actually executing their strategy. Just think about that. It's like having a destination in mind, but giving nobody a map or even a car to get there.
Okay, but what if you could change all that? What if there was a way to get your entire complex strategy onto a single page? A visual tool that makes the plan so clear that everyone, and I mean everyone, gets it and starts pulling in the exact same direction. Well, that's where the strategy map comes in.
Now here's the official definition from the guys who created it, Kaplan and Norton. I know, it sounds a little academic, but the idea behind it is actually incredibly simple and really powerful. It's basically a framework that connects the dots between what you, as leaders, want to achieve and exactly how your teams are going to make it happen.
And this is really the most important way to think about it. You're not creating another dense PowerPoint deck that's just going to get filed away. No, you are creating the visual story of your strategy, a story where every single person in the company can look at it and see exactly where they fit in. So how do you actually build this story?
Well, it's not just a random list of goals. A strategy map is built on 4 distinct but totally interconnected layers. They're called perspectives, and it's this structure that makes the whole thing work.
So here they are, the 4 building blocks. You've got financial at the top, then customer, then internal process, and holding it all up at the bottom is learning and growth. What's so crucial about this is that it forces you to have a balanced view. It stops you from just chasing the financial numbers and makes you think about what really drives those numbers.
So let's start at the very top, the end game. The financial perspective answers that one fundamental question: to be successful, what results do our shareholders or stakeholders demand from us?
But how do you get those financial results? You can't just wish for them. You get them by delivering something special to your customers. So this perspective is all about defining your value proposition. How are you going to win over your target customers?
Okay, and that brings us to the next logical step. To make your customers happy and deliver on that value proposition, there are certain things inside your business that you have to be amazing at. This perspective is where you identify those critical few processes that you have to absolutely nail.
And finally, we get to the foundation of everything. What makes those great processes possible in the first place? It's your people, your culture, and your technology. The learning and growth perspective is all about investing in those intangible assets, the skills and capabilities that are going to fuel all your future success.
Now here's where the real magic happens. The power of the map isn't just in having these 4 separate perspectives. The genius is in the cause and effect arrows that link them all together. It creates this clear, logical story that flows from the bottom all the way to the top. It's basically a series of if-then statements.
The story of your strategy always starts here, at the foundation. It begins with this hypothesis. If we invest in the right skills and create the right culture for our people,
Then those highly skilled, motivated people will naturally be able to improve the internal processes that are most critical to our success. See? Better people lead to better operations, which in turn allows us to deliver a much better experience or product to our customers. When your internal processes are excellent, your customers feel it, whether that's through better service, innovation, or price,
ultimately creating the engine for sustainable, long-term financial success. Because at the end of the day, happy, loyal customers are what drive shareholder value. And just like that, you've drawn a direct line from your training budget all the way to your bottom line. So, what's the big payoff for doing all this work? Well, it's more than just a pretty diagram.
It leads to what experts call an execution premium. That's a fancy way of saying a real, tangible, measurable boost in your organization's performance.
The change is just incredible. You go from having a bunch of disconnected departments, all chasing their own siloed metrics, to having one truly aligned organization where everybody is working toward the same goals, all guided by that one single powerful story.
And believe me, the results can be stunning. Take a look at the financial services group Nordea. After they put this exact system into place, they saw their total shareholder return hit 47.9%, making them a top performer in their field. That's what happens when an entire company is aligned and executing with laser focus.
So I'll leave you with this question, and it's one every leader should be asking. Your strategy is a story, but is everyone in your organization reading from the same map? Because a winning strategy isn't just about picking the right destination, it's about giving everyone the map they need to get there together.